And I kind of don't understand how you guys haven't gotten the help. We always have it.
Let's say there are inconsistencies among town staff.
Okay, well, we have had
But did you ask though? I mean, it's easy for you guys to say, oh, we got problems, we got problems.
A lot of
But then,
turnover at
did
that.
you ever ask?
Okay, Karen, I've been doing this for
So they
8
don't move out when they
years.
can.
As a board member, I have been through 4.
It's good.
You didn't answer the question, did you ask her?
Did I leave?
I didn't ask her this, you just simply yes or no.
The answer is yes.
No, he got, I think he made
Until we finally gave up.
That's gonna help him.
Then that's the wrong thing though.
I think we're off topic here though.
Any other thoughts while we're waiting, Larry, see if we can?
Basically,
look
this
at
is
it.
our problem, and we're not gonna get a solution by depending on the city. This is a problem that we've been meeting every Saturday morning for. We've been going over the details and many of the aspects. And ladies and gentlemen, with or without Dunn, I think all of us are firmly committed to continuing. Whether we need the city or not may even be an issue to be raised, because all we're getting from the city at this stage of the game is rejection, and all the city is seeing in us is opposition. We may need to separate and become independent. Now, I know that we.
It's not a conversation for today. This is not free.
We need Larry, and we'll see if we can wrap it up.
Well, now it's Larry,
Unless you want to take a vote on closed session. The elections were hold it, folks. There you go.
Okay, on the election issue, I agree with those that say we've already got it publicized. Some have invested money, others haven't yet invested money. But I had some concerns, and as of yesterday, it just, the straw that broke the camel's back. At the Valley Congress of Neighborhood Councils, I signed up to be a volunteer poll worker, and it's not in my own, at that time it was a different region even. And I've gotten 2 phone calls over the last 3 months from city clerks saying, oh, you signed up to volunteer. I said, yes, I did. They're calling to confirm. And they said, we have to go to mandatory training. I said, okay, fine, when's the mandatory training? We don't know yet, we'll call you back. And that was as recently as this week. I got the 3rd phone call. Yesterday an email came out, maybe it was the day before, that many of you may have received, indicating that they now had process in place for the volunteer poll workers, which is the component of trying to save the money the city council wanted them to save. One of the things that says in there, to be a volunteer poll worker, you must fill out this form at least 30 days prior to the election. Sent out the date, yesterday. Region A election is in 11 days. They send a form out within 11 days of the election. So basically what that means, the intent of city council request to try to complement and reduce the cost of city clerk is being voided because of that requirement. Plus, they still don't have the volunteer training scheduled for the poll workers. So at this point, I'm sorry you missed that speech against the city clerk and competency.
I've heard that before.
But this so-called professional organization that so-called can run elections is not, at least from this perspective. I'm sure many of you have gotten your election procedures, as we did, delivered on the day of our election when they showed up, and said, okay, now you have to approve these by E minus, I think it was 130 days prior to the election. They delivered it the election. There was no more regular meetings of our council prior to that E minus 130 days. This is a so-called professional organization. I don't think so. I think it's a full employment act for the city clerk to be able to keep the number of employees from office at the city election. That's what I personally think. So if we kept the election cycle as advertised, and we got rid of city clerk to some extent, probably more rather than less, but however much we could get rid of to save as much money as possible. Given all these things, I don't need, listen, we ran our elections for 6 years without them. And we didn't need 30-day requirement to sign up, and we didn't need to have a volunteer training in downtown Los Angeles in order to run for the election. So, and we've got elections in 11 days. So, I think that this is real money.
You'll never see a penny
It's not
of
gonna solve
it.
the whole problem, but it is a big chunk of money anyway. We went off in this while
You will never see a penny of that money. That money will be swept and you will not have anything for it. It is not your money once it goes.
I'm not asking for the money.
But-
I'm asking for
Respect.
I'm asking for the money. The money not to be wasted. As far as I'm concerned, it's being wasted.
Okay, folks, here's where we are. We have about 8 minutes before Larry leaves. Let's see if we can figure out where we are, where we want to go from here.
I'm working.
And wrap it up, so that we're all satisfied. Jack?
I'm not familiar with all the ins and outs of how these things work, but I've done some numbers with Sean. And it seems to me that the neighborhood council supporting Sean's number, we have a budget of about $13 million. We're gonna knock it down to about $7.5 million. It's a $5.5 million savings. It's a 42% ding. I think we're doing more than our fair share, but in that kind of, just looking at it from a numbers point of view. And if we can work within the numbers, and give us a budget, we can figure out what the hell we're gonna do. As somebody said, we're grown-ups, we're not a bunch of idiots. Done, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it possible for some of us to attend that meeting, Larry?
So, my staff is gonna kill me because they don't wanna come in, but I'm willing to have a couple of folks, that you designate to come in and help us when we hash some stuff out.
What time is that?
We haven't decided, so I'm gonna have to talk to my staff about how this is all gonna play out, right?
Well, at least they're not laid off, they have a job. Sorry, guys. My question goes with the money too, in that, do you know what roughly you're talking about funding a CDD type number, a number of these?
To be honest, right now, this is the exercise that we're in the middle of. The exercise is who exactly goes on the layoff list. And that requires us to know what exact positions are needed when we do a thorough scrub of departments. And so the radical surgery departments are going first. And we did human services department today, and they got 100% scrub. The environmental affairs department, in terms of general funded support, 100% done. If that's Human Relations Commission, that's the Commission on the Status of Women, Commission on Children, Youth, and Families, 100%. So Cultural Affairs is got scrubbed, and it's got a 40% cut in their department budget, right? So right now, we're in this scrub for done, and that's where, if we can't defend the $14